spins. Hello, hi, we're live. Hello.
How are you doing? All the way from London to me. Wow.
Yeah, and you're in Zurich at the moment?
That's right.
Okay, so are you sort of like up in the mountains?
No, just at the beginning of the mountains, in a very beautiful place. And we can look over to the mountains when it had snow. Last week it had snow. Yeah, really beautiful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Walking up in the mountains quite a lot.
Oh, nice. I've never been to Switzerland.
Why not?
I think it's because it's cold. Is it cold there most of the time?
It's too expensive.
Is it too expensive? I don't know. I just thought it was cold.
Very expensive place to live.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand they have a high standard of living there, though.
We do, yeah.
Yes,
but we all live alone, because the social life doesn't exist here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The social life is really very, very, very sad. Even amongst real Swiss people living together, there's not very much nice social life. We don't have pubs, for example, we don't.
Oh, really? Okay.
Maybe we should need a few pubs here, but I don't know.
Maybe you can start a business.
Yeah. I used to have a pub in England.
I beg your pardon, sorry?
I used to have a pub in England.
Did you really?
In Norfolk, yeah.
In Norfolk?
Yeah.
Norfolk.
But it was really in the country, and it was very quiet, and the business wasn't very good, so I stuck it up 1 year. Then I gave it up.
And then you gave it up after 1 year. Okay, that's good.
Then I found myself a job.
And you found yourself a job. You are self-employed now anyway, so which is great.
I'm retired.
Oh, no, but you still work.
Yeah, I still work, but I'm still retired.
Yeah. Yes, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So you were saying to me earlier on that you've got a few more jobs lined up. Would you mind telling me what they all are about, please?
Well, one job I just read about, I only read the mails this afternoon. There's a Swiss national newspaper wants to write an article about best Ager models.
Oh, and fantastic.
That's what I am. I'm Swiss, and I've got all the stuff I wrote to you. I'm going to send to them. I've translated it into German already.
Yes.
So I'll be sending that to them.
All right.
We'll see if I get the job. The other job where I just had the telephone just now is in Nuremberg. And that's, I would have to portray an American with a German car. I don't have to speak, don't worry.
I was about to ask you about the accent.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
Do crazy things, as models. Really crazy.
Yes.
I can't remember. Yeah, anyway. Yeah. But at the moment, it's very difficult because I have to get special permission to be able to go into Germany.
Okay.
I have to go into quarantine for 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Tests. And if it comes out positive, they don't pay for the hotel. They don't pay for the journey. I don't get any money. So it's a big financial risk as well.
It is, yeah. But I think it's not even financial so much. Number one, health risk.
Yeah.
Well,
I had Corona anyway.
Me too.
I had Corona in February. I went on a shooting in Stuttgart, and I went with the train, and there were 2 Chinese women there, and they kept walking backwards and forwards, and they used the same lavatory as me. And unfortunately, I must have touched something. And when I came home 2 days later, I got all the symptoms of Corona.
Oh, dear.
In February, we didn't know what it was all about. We didn't make any tests at that time. The doctors didn't know anything about it, but I had it all. And I got over it.
You got over it. Okay. And that's what, just literally quarantine at home. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's a good thing it didn't, sort of get worse or develop,
Sure.
And that was in February, and we're now in November. So you've done pretty well.
Yeah, everything is all right again. I've been on
Yeah.
holiday
Okay, where did you go?
Greece
Oh, yes, you did mention that.
to
Yes,
create a country called Corfu.
yes.
And there were there were no health problems there, except for
Mm,
the people that were going over there,
mm.
crazy English people.
Right, and that's really good. At least, Greece is still open for people to have holidays, because
Yeah,
there are a lot of countries that are closed. The
yeah.
borders are still shut.
But the
Even
thing is,
now.
in Switzerland, we have it's very bad right now, and
Yeah.
they don't want us to travel to their countries, so we can't go anywhere.
No, no. I'm surprised that Switzerland would have it bad, actually,
Yeah, I know.
because I don't imagine Switzerland to have a high population.
Well, 8 million, but we don't have
Oh,
a Boris. We
you
need
don't,
Boris.
you need Boris.
We need Boris. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Come on,
Well, I'm going to say to you that
what?
I don't speak politics.
Okay,
That's going to be one of my non-negotiables.
okay.
So this is my second screening. So will you be able to reposition yourself so that we can see all of you? I can see half of you on my screen. Can you see, how much of you can you see on your screen? All you've got to do is swivel in your chair. That's it. I can see all of you now. Yes, yes. Let everybody see that handsome face. Well, you get a lot of work, and like I told you before, the camera loves you. Do you know?
The photo
Comment.
camera, not the video
Yeah,
camera.
yeah, the photo. Well, the video loves you too. But
Uh,
I've had many comments regarding that picture with the white
okay,
trousers, and you're leaning against the wall, and you've got both hands in
cool.
your pocket or something. I mean, the amount of people who have said, "Oh, he looks cool" or whatever, and I'm like, "Oh, really? Yeah, you do look nice in that photo."
And you wanted to know about my wife. I tell you a funny story about my
Yes,
wife.
I'd like to know about your wife. Well, you mentioned that
I used
your
to live
wife.
in, wait. I used to live in Cambridge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a great town,
Hmm.
and lots of students go there to learn English. And
Right.
my wife, she just finished her apprenticeship, and
Hmm.
she went over there when she was 19, and she went to Cambridge to learn English.
Yeah.
And she didn't learn very much English, but she got to know me. And we met in a tea room,
Okay.
and we had a cup of tea together, and then we made a date, and we chatted a lot, and then we agreed to meet in Corfu in Greece
Mm,
because I got a job at that time, and I had to
mm.
fly out to Corfu. So
Okay.
she had to go back to Switzerland to work because she had a contract. When she got
Right.
back, she gave notice, and 3 months later, on the 1st of August, she came out to me in Corfu.
Okay.
And we've been together 47 years.
Oh, that is just so beautiful. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's just wonderful.
So the
So
other
you were.
Greek story, because we had a flat there. I was working on the golf course doing
Mm,
some crazy job, and we went out one night, and we forgot the key. We left it in the flat, and the flat
mm,
door used to lock by itself.
mm.
So had nowhere to sleep, and we didn't
Okay.
realize until about 12 o'clock at night on the way home. So we
Mm.
went. A Greek friend of mine knocked on his door. We told him the story. We got nowhere to sleep. Can we sleep here? He just got out of bed. He was in his pajamas, and he
Mm.
gave us his bed, which was nice and warm. And he
Yes.
slept. He slept on the floor.
Oh, okay.
This is the Greek mentality, and you have to love them for it.
Exactly. Are you still in touch?
Yeah, we are.
That's really beautiful.
I don't
Hmm.
sleep in it anymore.
Do you know what? I didn't hear all of it, but I can imagine what it said. I got as far as I don't sleep in the bed anymore, something like that.
Use your imagination.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's why I'm laughing already. Oh my gosh. Oh, a lot of the photographs I've seen on your website, you've got this great big bright smile or laughter. Is that your character normally? Because I don't know if it's the character for the camera or the video, or is it your character in general? And I think I'm going to answer that question for you. And that will
Oh,
be
like
a yes.
yes. I'm like
Yes.
that. I'm a little bit crazy. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you have to be.
I've come from London. That makes me very different to the people in Switzerland and in Germany.
Right. Because they're quite serious, aren't they?
Sure. Sure.
I worked in a German bank, and
Yes.
and they're very serious. Every one of them.
But they're very good at it.
Oh yeah, very good at it. And
Yes.
I beg your pardon? Sorry?
They're very good at being serious.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
And even because I worked in Frankfurt for a little while as well, and they were serious there too. And even when you went to the nice places for entertainment, you know, the Cirque du Soleil type of entertainment, they were serious there too. They were serious about everything. You know, I found it quite. They were very reserved. Let's put it that way.
Well, if you remember, I wrote something about where I like to do the shooting. I like to go to Germany for the shooting because they are very efficient.
Yes,
and
you did mention
very,
that, yeah.
very creative.
Yes,
extremely creative people, and they pay well.
Yes.
They pay a good salary.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. But they used to, nearly every German I spoke to that I worked with used to always use a particular phrase whenever there was a problem. And I wondered, you know, have they been taught this? Whenever there was a problem, they would always say, "It is what it is." They would always say that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And then they will go off and do whatever they can to solve the problem. But once they've solved the problem, it still is what it is. Yeah. I've never forgotten that. I just found that quite amusing. Although it's the truth. It is what it is.
You have to live with it, you know, and everybody's different. Every country, they're different.
Yeah, they've got a different type of psychology.
We don't talk about politics.
I don't. No, I don't. And I'm going to be, I don't know, you give me the word when I say it to you. I'm going to be like this. I do not speak politics because everyone's got their own views and beliefs. And don't forget the subjects that can break up friendships, don't forget, are subjects like politics, religion, and what's the third one? There are three main ones that can break up friendships and marriages.
Religion, did you say that?
Yeah, religion. Yeah, politics, religion, and what's the third one?
Probably sex, you're going to say that.
SEX, did you say? No, this is not an X-rated conversation, Jim.
We are going public. Let's be careful.
I think, is it money, the third one? Have you ever heard of that? Do not speak.
I don't know.
Is it money? I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah, so we won't.
He wanted some advice for
me?
Older people. Yeah, for older people who want to work as best Ager models.
Yes.
Especially women.
Yeah, because I might want to work as a model myself. So.
Okay. And you know how to do it?
I'd like to know how to do it, yes.
I'd like to know. Okay. I had something nice happen to me today. I had a mail from a photographer. And 8 years ago, I went to the photographer to make my first set of model photographs.
Okay.
And I paid him about £300. It was a lot of money, but he made the most beautiful photos. And I put them in a map, and I always carried them with me when I went on a casting or on a job, because people always like to see the photos. And I got a lot of work because of him. I went to an
Oh,
agency then, and I showed the agency my photos, and they said, "Okay, you're in." They
right.
employed me straight away, and within 2 months, I got 5 jobs.
That's
And this is
brilliant.
what you have to do as a new model. You have to get professional photos.
They're not called test shots, are they? Are
No,
they called test shots? No. Okay.
you
So
get, you get, you get
you need
this type.
you need to create a portfolio. Yeah?
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
exactly.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
the most
Okay.
important thing. And first of all, you do that. Then you go to agencies and you
Yeah.
show them, and you don't have to pay the agencies to make more photos. That shouldn't be necessary. Sometimes
Mm,
they make a couple of raw photos, but not a whole set of profile photos. That shouldn't be necessary. So it shouldn't cost you any more money. So if
right.
you get accepted by an agency, and the thing is, one agency is not enough. You have to go to
No.
more.
Mm,
Every town, another agency. Like
mm,
In Germany, I have 30 agencies, which I
wow.
communicate with all the time, and I get work from all over the place.
Yes.
But
Yes.
when you've done that, you keep in touch with them. You keep giving them good new photos, not from the handy, but professional photos. Keep them up to date every 6 months at the most.
Mm, mm.
And
Okay.
another important thing is make your own website.
Yes.
Jim Do, for example, like me, it's very easy to make. The photos that you've made, you put in there, and you make a description about yourself, and so on and so on. When you've done
Uh,
that,
yeah.
you're on the market. You sell
Right.
yourself.
Right. Yeah, so you're on your own website, and I was about to ask you that question. That so many things are now digital. So when you say you show your photographs to the agencies,
Yeah,
um, and I was imagining that yes, they'd want to see you in person. But do you introduce yourself to the agencies in person as well as online? And is it unsolicited, or do you have to make an appointment to
it's
introduce yourself?
better to make an appointment. Yeah, sure.
You have to make
But
an appointment, so it's not unsolicited. Right,
you've
okay.
got to meet them face to face. Yeah,
Yeah,
they want to
yeah,
see. Sure, sure.
yeah. So how did you just sort of find a list of model agents and then give them a call
Yeah,
first? That's
yeah.
what you did? Or send an email first? Okay.
Or you can do it the other way around. You can go into Google. You can
Yeah.
look for all the searches for agencies. You go to open the agency website, and
Mm.
there, with most of them, you can make an application.
On
They
from their website. Okay.
can and send a couple of good photos with it, digital photos.
Yeah.
And if they like you, if they think you might fit in somewhere, then okay, you might be able to join them.
Yeah.
And then
So
maybe you get an appointment too.
okay, that's great. And so have you had any agencies that have made you wait a very long time?
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
And suddenly out of the blue, this agency's like contacted you.
Well, also agencies that have said, no, they can't use me. I'm the wrong type.
Yeah, of course. Well, at least they've told you they can't use you because you've got agencies will probably will never respond, I suppose.
Yeah, but not usually. Some of
No.
them do take a long time. Some of them take up to a month to
Mm,
reply. But
mm,
okay, that's not so
mm,
bad.
mm, mm, mm.
Education
So,
is the main thing for this job. I spend 2 to 3 hours, when things are running. This year, not. But when
right,
things are really running and there's a lot of work around, I spend 2 to 3 hours every day contacting my agencies and
good.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I have
mm,
14,000 contacts.
contacts. That's brilliant. Yeah,
14,000, yeah. Yeah.
that's a
And this
huge
is
number.
a huge number, a lot of
It
work.
is. Yeah, because when they're all posting, you're not able to see everyone's posts. Too many to get through.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not just a question of going on a shooting and getting paid for it. And, oh, this is a nice job. There's a lot of work involved as well before you even get there.
Okay, so would you like to share that with us, please? With me, please?
What do you mean, the work?
Yes, the awful lot of work. I mean, obviously, there's obviously the main. You've got to make sure.
Photos, contacting agencies, and
Yeah,
keeping the contact with the agencies up to date.
that's the lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the obvious is keeping healthy, making
Yeah.
sure you've got good skin, good hair, and stamina, keeping healthy.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is obvious. Yeah. Yeah. So
if you're a lady and you go onto a shooting, don't talk too much. Yes.
I'm laughing because of something that I read. A lady you met, and she wouldn't stop talking.
Many.
Do you know what? Oh, really? Okay.
The worst ones are the ones that tell the photographer how to do his job.
Oh, really? Oh, dear.
Really, it's happened.
Yes. And these are agers as well, these ladies.
No, what do you mean by that? Aged?
Agers, Agers, agers. Are they also best agers?
Best agers, yeah.
Best agers, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
They are.
Not because some of them are very good, but when they talk too much, you can't work, you know.
No, of course. Yeah, you can't concentrate. And
a model is a creative person. But guided by the photographer. The photographer tells him what he wants, or the client, if he's there at the same time, and you have to follow them. You know, when you go on a shooting, sometimes there are up to 25 people standing behind the camera.
Wow.
You know, there's a photographer, his assistant, then a guy doing the lights, a guy doing the sound if they're doing video. And there's the client. The client has an agent, and there's the model agency. Sometimes they're also there. And when you put all these together, you get up to 25 people. And you are standing there alone in front of the camera.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And to think that your pictures, is helping them with their marketing, their advertising, you know, they're monetizing from the influence of your pictures, believe it or not. There's so much at stake, maybe. That's why you've got so many people standing behind the camera.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at it in that way?
Of course I have. Yeah.
You have. You have.
I know the whole business of advertising anyway, because when I was in London, I worked for a leading advertising agency.
Yes.
So I know what it's about. And I'm at the other end. I'm doing the same thing, but this is what I'm selling, my face.
Yes, you're selling your face. Yeah. Your face is full of character.
Yeah, probably good. Hard work.
Hard work. So that's built your face. Yeah. Well, oh gosh. Yeah. Well, so do they ask you, the agencies, when you are approaching them, or when they're interested in you, do they ask you things like, do you like outdoor work, or do you prefer indoors, and do you like heights, and, you know, do they ask you those kind of questions?
No,
they don't.
They ask you basic things, you know, if you do any sport, what sort of sport you do, what languages do you speak, and so on.
Very normal.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But when you go to an agency,
I've lost you.
When you go to an agency, you got to sell yourself, but not oversell. You know what I mean?
I lost you for a second.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Did you not notice that both my screens went black? Don't know why.
Anyway, when you go to an agency, it's very important that you sell yourself.
Yes.
But not oversell.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to give
Yeah.
them time, and they can judge.
Okay. Because they do say that they know what they're looking for, don't they? They know exactly what they're looking for.
No,
There is a look. There is a look that they are looking for
no,
sometimes. No.
no,
Okay. No. Okay.
because today the advertising is so different to as it used to be 20 years ago.
Right.
They use sorts of faces. They're using people from the street.
Mm.
For me, for example, in Zurich, they don't want me anymore because my
Oh.
face is well known. Yeah,
Right.
they want
Yeah.
something new. So they go on the street and find a guy. They can put him in front of a camera. He doesn't have to be a model, but that's the sort of person they
No.
want because that is the person who is going to buy their product. That's what it's
Yes.
all about.
Yes. Right. Okay. Yeah. So the person's got to look like the people they're trying to sell to. Yeah. Okay. So
That's it.
the person
That's
has
it.
got to look like who their customers can relate to. Yeah. Look like one of them. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Because I remember years ago that the complaint was that a lot of models do not look like the shoppers in these fashion stores and so on. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, I was wondering if you'd ever came across that. That will
They all look
impress a lot.
like Twiggy, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Twiggy, yeah.
yeah.
Everybody
Twiggy.
like Twiggy, and
Yeah.
look at my Twiggy clothes. Nobody.
No, that's right. That's right. But now a lot of the models are looking like your everyday woman now, which is great.
That's true.
Yeah,
Really, yeah.
yeah.
It's a great job. There are lots of challenges, and you have to be up for the challenges. In
Mm.
front of the camera and traveling too.
Okay, so
Did you
give me one. Give me one challenge, please, so that
challenge?
yeah, there are lots of challenges. So if you could just give me at least one challenge.
Challenges by traveling.
The traveling. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I was in Hamburg, and I got up early in the morning because I wanted to go to a new agency, and I saw it had been snowing, and there was a lot of snow on the pavements, and I had my model bag, and I had to drag my model bag all the way through the snow. I should have had a sledge. It would have been better for me. There was so much snow. When I got to the agency, I put my bag in the middle of the floor, and all the water ran out onto the nice wooden floor. That was a little bit embarrassing, but it was okay. The guy accepted it, and I got work from him later on.
All right.
And then from there, I had to go onto the aeroplane to fly back to Zurich, and I sat in my seat, and the guy came next to me, and he was about 140, 150 kilos heavy.
Right. Yeah.
Fat guy. And his fat went over the arms of the chair.
Right.
So I complained. They gave me a new seat, but not him. And I said, well, yeah, they can't do anything about a customer like that, but they were glad that I was able to take another seat, you know. It was all a bit crazy.
Well, logically, don't you think it's easier for you to get up and move? Because can you imagine what it would take to get this larger person up, you know?
Yeah.
And then if they put him in another seat, that person will probably say, well, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
the journey wasn't finished because on the way home, I was in the train, the local train, and there were many, many people in it. It was very crowded. And there was a beautiful red-headed girl with blue eyes. Started talking. And she said, "Are you okay, sir?" I said, "Yes, I'm fine. Thank you very much." And we got chatting. And I told her what I'd been doing in Hamburg. And finished up at the station where we both got out together. She gave me a present, gave me a bottle of perfume.
That's so
because
sweet.
she was so pleased to meet me. That's modeling.
She happened to be carrying a bottle of perfume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
She worked in a perfume shop.
All right. Okay, that's nice. Did you use it or
Yeah.
did you use it? Did you like the smell?
I still use it. Yeah.
You still use it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. That
I
it's
mean, traveling is a very hard thing when you go modeling, and doing the job itself. Okay, you learn how to do it. Discipline and so
yeah,
on.
yes. Because I have heard actually many models say this is when you're reading articles and so on, and it's not actually as glamorous as it's made to look.
Well,
Because, like you say, it's the hard work.
yeah,
It's
it's a
what
job.
really goes on behind. Yeah, it really isn't as glamorous as people say it is. It looks that way.
For me, the greatest thing about it is it is a creative job. I have
Yes.
to I have to portray somebody that the photographer wants. So I
Yeah.
have to come out of myself as something or somebody else.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's one thing that's great about it. The other thing is meeting the crew. They're
Mm.
all guys there. They've done their studies maybe in New York, maybe in London, or maybe just in Germany. Most of them speak English, which is great fun for me. I speak good German, but I like
Yeah.
speaking to these guys, and
Mhm.
we share the interests and
Yeah.
the experiences that we have, and that's good
Yeah.
fun.
Yes. Yes. So
It
that's
gets me away from my life here, you know,
gets you away from your wife or your life.
my life.
Your life. Just wanted to double check
Careful about it.
that. Uh, okay. So you won't be doing anything else. It's just mainly the modeling.
No, I've got no other intentions. No,
No
and
intentions, just mainly the
holiday
modeling. And
going up.
I loved what you said on the blog about the fact that it's the only thing that you enjoy doing.
It's not the only thing. I mean, I can't do that many things anyway. I don't
Mm,
have time for them because when I do this, I mean, you must imagine 2 years ago, it was really running well for me. I flew 22 times. So I was pretty busy. I don't have
yes.
time for anything else, you know.
You've filmed 22 times.
So flew.
Flew 22 times. Okay.
Yeah,
And that was just work alone.
yeah,
That didn't even include your vacations.
no,
Right.
no. That's a lot of
Yeah.
work.
So
And
you're flying around Europe, so you haven't got too many time zones to try to tackle either, have you?
no, no, thank
Which
goodness.
is great. Yeah, which is great because I can imagine how awful it must be when you just don't know your 5 o'clocks from your 2 o'clocks, whether it's nighttime or daytime. Can
No,
imagine.
no thanks.
Yeah, what that must do to you. Oh well, Jim, I think this has been great.
Good,
We got through in the end.
good. I hope you can use some of it.
I will just plonk it on my YouTube, etc. And any older person who would like to be a model, they can hear what you've got to say.
Okay.
They can
And
decide, well, do I
if,
really want to take these photos?
if anybody would like some advice, they can write to me
Yes, on your website. Yes,
on my
because I'm going to.
website or Facebook, wherever.
Yes, yes, because
Sure.
your. I've got all your links on my blog.
Okay.
All of your links, your Facebook, your Instagram. So the photographers, how do you go about finding the right photographer? Because I'm under the impression that the photography is expensive. The whole session, the photographer, is it expensive?
Yeah. Yes.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
can imagine. Yeah.
Sure.
So
How do you
really,
find, I don't know. That's very difficult to say how you find them. You could ask the advice of the agency that you contacted.
yeah.
But when you do that, it's dangerous. Could be dangerous.
In what sense?
Well, then they would say we'll make a profile for you, and they charge you a lot of money for it.
Oh, right. I see. Yes, that's very good
You,
advice.
they could then possess those photos, but You want the photos. You want them in your possession so that you can give them to other agencies. You understand?
Yes, yes. So they might possess them and not let you have them. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's best to just, like you say, maybe even go into Google and just find photographers that way.
Yeah, but they have to
And
be portrait photographers.
portrait photographers. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, I think I might give it a try in about a year or so.
Why not? Good
Yeah,
fun.
you know, you just don't know. I might do. We'll
Yeah,
see.
sure. Maybe we meet in
So,
London on a gig.
sorry.
Maybe we meet in London sometime on a gig.
Yes, we might. Yes, and
Yeah,
I'll be like, oh my gosh, hello, Jim. You know, and then we can amuse everyone with the blog and Facebook Live. Oh, wow. So when one spends a lot of money on photographers, you're really actually like investing in yourself, really, aren't you? Because you're going to have
yeah,
to earn that money back uh,
yeah,
to get your return. Let's put it that
yeah.
way. The return on investment, you're investing in yourself. It's
Yes, of
great.
course.
Yeah. But when I look at Instagram, I do see a lot of older models, a lot of
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
You know, it seems all very intentional, like it's a new wave or something.
yeah. It is.
Yeah,
It
it is.
was.
Oh,
It
it
was
was
2 years. Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
two
But it
years
still
ago.
is.
It's
Yeah,
it still is. Yeah, yeah. It was, might say bigger 2 years ago. Yeah.
yeah. And I
Okay.
give you the name of one of the best model agencies in London, and that is Gray's.
I know of Grays. I do know of them.
I've
Yes.
worked.
You've worked for them.
Yeah,
Okay. It's
yeah.
brilliant.
I had a great job. They said I could go on a casting in London.
Mm,
I took a lot of risk. I flew over in the morning and I went
mm.
on the casting. And there were 360 people there for the casting.
Yes.
And I thought, oh my God, that's a lot of people.
People.
And
Mm,
I went into the casting and it was fun. There were
mm,
three women sitting there.
mm.
And they said, well, where do you come from? So I said, I come from Zurich. Yeah, but where do you live? I said, I live in Zurich. I came here this morning. Yeah, what do you come here for? I said, I came here just to see you. Like I got the
But
job.
oh, that's really funny. Oh my gosh. But the questions they ask, and I'm like, well, what answers do they want?
Oh my
So
God,
this
yeah.
is a good thing you gave that answer. That's great. You got the job. But were they looking for just one person or a group of people out of the 360?
They were looking for one man.
And you
And,
got it.
I got that. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I got another
Well,
job in Frankfurt at the beginning of this year. And I went
mm,
there and I got the job over an agency. Okay, the
yes.
agency sent my photos to the customer, and the
Hmm.
customer gave me the job. So I
Hmm.
went up, I went there with the train, and when I was on the shooting, I was standing there with two other men and a woman. And
Right.
I said to the customer, I said, what are we here for? What are we doing? What's the product? They said, we're an
Mm,
insurance company, and we want to show our customers how they should train their bodies. I said, okay.
okay.
Our customers are age group 60, 65 years old. I said,
Hmm.
I'm 80 years old. Did you know that? Oh, we didn't know that. And suddenly
Mm.
they thought, tick, tick, tick. I was fit. I was fitter than the other two guys who were only 60 years old. I had less trouble than they did with the training we had to do. So
All right.
you can, you can,
But you have mentioned to me on the blog today that you exercised quite regularly, didn't you, for a few years?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So you had that.
A lot of walking, a lot of marching, and sometimes weight training.
Weight training sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You got to keep muscles.
yeah. Okay. So that's really, really great. So obviously things like people have to be punctual, turn up on time for their jobs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And do they have to get their contracts looked over? Because when you start working for an agency, are you signing a contractual agreement at all?
You sign a contract with every single
Agency. So
Yeah.
you have to get that for peace of mind. You can get that contract read over and make sure it's okay. Yeah,
They're all,
because
yeah, sure.
they're all the same, more or less. More or less.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then you hope you get the money from them after the job.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you about a strange question, and that is insurance. Say, for instance, you're in a studio and a piece of equipment fell on you, and you got injured. Are you covered for that? Do you know?
They should be covered for it, yes.
Should be, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No way of proving it until something happens.
Until something happens, yeah. And you better not ask those questions anyway, because they'll all think, oh, this one's going to be difficult. Do you know what I mean? Like if I had a company and people were asking me too many questions, I would think, oh dear, is this person going to be comfortable with us or not?
Look, the situation with a model is very simple. You get an offer, and the offer doesn't tell you what you're going to have to do. It tells you where it is, and it tells you you're going to be the granddad, maybe, or something like that. When you get there, you suddenly find out you've got to ride a bicycle, you've got to go running, you've got to do weight training, all this in front of the camera. You don't ask questions, you accept it. If the money is good, you go and do it.
Yes, that's right.
Easy as that. Don't ask too many questions.
Okay, that's the point I'm making. You know what I mean? That's the point that I was making. Also, all the clothing is provided by the client of the agent. Let's put it that way. So
you go on a shooting, and very often they tell you to bring the clothes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Selection with you, or sometimes they say you get a stylist, and she will telephone you, and she will say, "Would you send me a photo of the clothes you want to bring with you?" And then you say, "Well, you're going to be an old granddad." Okay, so I put all my granddad clothes out on a bed, and I make a photo.
Okay.
And then she said, "You take the green one, the red ones, whatever."
Okay.
And when you get there, they don't like the clothes you took with you anyway, and they give you clothes somewhere else. I am always carrying clothes around that never get used.
Okay. And you're just going to have to take all of that in your stride, basically. Like you said, don't ask questions. Yeah. Take it all in your stride. So really, it sounds interesting. Sounds interesting. Because
and
it's
the other
interesting.
thing is, when you get the job, you get an address where to go to. You've got to find your own way there.
Right.
You rarely get picked up, and you have to go there by yourself, maybe with a taxi, which you would probably have to pay yourself. And then you're on the job. Okay,
so they don't. It's not a door-to-door service. They don't pick you up or anything. No.
Rare. It's rare.
It's rare. So tell me. So when you fly, you're sort of paying the airfare, but it doesn't really matter because you've got the job anyway, and they're going to pay you the fee anyway. So is that right?
They pay the fee for the shooting, but they don't always pay for traveling.
No.
But you know that in advance. And if you get paid enough money, you know you're going to get X amount. then you say, okay, I can afford to pay for the flight too.
Yes, yes, you can cover all your expenses. Okay. And obviously they provide you with meals and drinks.
During the shooting, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes you get a job, you get the hotel the night before and the night after the shooting. So you've got 3 days in effect, but you only get paid for one.
Right. Oh, okay. So do they pay for the hotel accommodation? Because that will just be sometimes. Okay.
So, yeah.
See, if I was going to be on a shoot for 3 days,
Yeah.
I would hope that what they pay will cover me for the 3 days.
Depends what you call. What do you mean by cover?
Meaning that, okay, I'm going to be here for 3 days. The shoot says 1, and I'm being paid for 1. So how do I get paid for the other 2?
Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't.
Okay.
Just depends on the agreement, you know. If you
Yeah.
get a high fee, you can afford to pay for that.
Okay, fine. That's what I mean about the cover. That you get a good amount of money. It covers it all.
I did a shoot for Barclays Bank.
Yeah.
And I had to go to North London.
Mm.
The shooting started at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I couldn't fly in the morning. I stayed in the East End of London for 50 francs in a very old, dirty house. And then went on my shooting, did my job, and went back to it for the evening again.
How did you manage to stay in a dirty house? Who put you in there?
Cheap and nasty.
Pardon?
Cheap and nasty.
Yeah. How was that? The agency or was that you? Who put you in there? That was you.
I wanted to see the East End of London again.
Oh, right.
Okay. Because life has changed in the few years I've been away.
Okay. Well, the East End of London, yes, I can imagine that's changed a lot. Yeah. Because I'm thinking about the days when, I don't know if I'm allowed to mention this. I don't know if Facebook will cut this out, but I can remember the days when the Cray twins were around.
Oh, yeah.
What it looked like then, and it really has changed a lot.
Sure.
All different communities filled East London.
Well, I remember my auntie and uncle. I used to meet them now and again when I was a little tiny boy. I lived in North London. They lived in East London.
Yes.
My uncle was a driver of a tram, and his wife was the conductress in the tram. So they were out every day with their tram, doing their job, and they lived in East London. Over a graveyard.
Over a graveyard.
Yeah.
They didn't tell you.
Now they're in the graveyard.
Yeah. Oh, so they didn't tell you any poltergeist stories or any ghost stories. Oh God, they're in the graveyard. Do you think that's funny that they're in the graveyard?
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't be laughing. Actually, I should be serious. They're in the graveyard.
We're all going to get there one day, you know.
Yes, that's what my father used to always say. You know,
sure.
We're all going to get there one day. We're all going to get there. Yes.
When did your father come and go to England?
He came over in the 1950s. No, in the 1950s, but I don't know when exactly. Yeah, it could have been 51, 52, 53, 54. You know, came over in the 1950s.
58, probably.
No, because I was born before then.
Yeah.
I was born before 1958.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You can read about my father on the blog.
Well,
okay.
Maybe I met him.
Maybe because you'll find him under the Black History. I wrote about Black History Month on the blog. Okay. Yeah. So if you fancy reading that.
I told you I studied accountancy, and I worked in in the next to the Tower Bridge.
Okay.
I was doing the bookkeeping, and
Yeah.
every Friday night I would count the cash together, put it in the envelopes, and I would
Mm.
pay the 30 guys in the factory,
Right.
which was across the road, and they were all Jamaicans. They're
Yeah.
really fun people. We used to have a big laugh together. And
Yes.
I used to do all the salaries for the Jamaicans.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's where I think I mentioned to you I'm from Jamaican parents, didn't I mention that to you? Yeah, born in Paddington, London.
Always with
So
a
big smiles and things. That's probably where you've got your big smile from. No, you probably had it since childhood. So I'm just going to ask you another question about the modeling, and that is, when they pay you, do you get paid like a few weeks after the role, or a week after the role, or a few months after the role? Or does
3
it
months,
vary? It varies 3 months after. Okay.
3 months later. That's
Yeah.
usual.
Yeah. And another thing that I think is important is that the fact that you are responsible for, I don't know, paying taxes and national insurance. Are you at a certain age or not? When you're earning that money, you are self-employed, really.
You have to do that yourself. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, otherwise HMRC will be after you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so it's been really lovely speaking to you, Jim. Unless you haven't got any more wonderful stories to tell me. I mean, you've
Maybe.
done really brilliantly because no, I can hear another one. I'd love to, because of the little technical hitch that we had earlier on.
Not a story, but when you're talking about the fee that you get, it's always good to make sure that you're being paid the right amount.
Yes.
And if you're an actor and you belong to some sort of federation in England, you get very bad money. They're very, very poorly paid. It's really
Right.
sad.
Being an
And
actor.
yeah, if you go on a photo shooting as an extra is not a model. Yeah.
No.
An extra is just a guy that stands there. He's one of a crowd.
Yeah.
They get extremely bad paid. But for a model, it's worth doing that. And I did it for a year to get the experience of standing in front of the camera and doing what these people want you to do. It's very, very experience.
Yeah.
And then I'll change over to being a model yourself, because the model is earning 10 times what the extra is earning.
Why is it that extras are so low paid? Is it because there are many extras sometimes? Like a crowd of them sometimes.
There's a big thing here in Switzerland. They like to have models and extras free of charge. It's okay when you're beginning, do it. Get the experience. But don't do it for long, because you're being taken advantage of.
You are. You're exploited.
Yeah.
That's wrong. That's not very good.
I know a couple of people who do it all the time because they're not capable of doing something better. They're not capable of being models, professional models.
Right.
So
okay.
They like meeting people. They like
and maybe they want company, and they're just like, yeah. And maybe sometimes money isn't really the object. Money isn't the main thing for them, I was going to ask you about the contract. Is the contract an annual contract, or is it rolling, or does it vary?
It's a contract forever. Contract forever.
Oh, it's forever. Okay.
With you.
All right.
Yeah. The one thing that is not allowed in Switzerland, and that is for an agency to say they are exclusive for you.
No, you're not allowed to have the exclusivity. Okay.
I'm not
But,
sure what that is.
but I
Maybe
can
they-
remember. I can remember that exclusivity meant that you'd get extremely high pay because you're missing out on other opportunities. No,
No, no.
no.
It would
Okay,
be, it would be nice, but it's not true.
it's not true. So basically, but well, I mean, if you had exclusivity, you will lose opportunities.
Well, you don't have the opportunity of getting jobs in other
Now,
towns.
that's right, and other agencies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the exclusivity it's a good thing it's not there. It's a good thing
Yeah.
it's against the law in Switzerland. Yeah.
About 2 years ago, really a good year that I had 18 shootings. This is when I flew 22 times, and I
Mm,
had 18 shootings, and they all came from different agencies.
right. Oh, brilliant. It sounds exciting.
But the
Oh,
agency, an agency will tell you, you stay with us and you only work for us. Okay, don't do that.
no, no.
No.
So have you ever had more than one offer and you've got to decide now which one do I take because the dates clash and you think, well,
You
which
mean,
one do I have you had
aha,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, if you remember, I gave you two links of my day story, the life, a day in the life of a model. One of
Yes.
those story about two shootings in one day. I
Mm,
had to drive to a town. It was 1 hour away from where I live. It was
mm,
terrible weather, and I had to go into the studio, which was on the fourth floor, and the staircase was outside. I had to carry all my stuff up to the fourth floor. I had a photo shooting for 2 hours with
mm.
12 photographers. You can imagine how that was pretty intensive work.
Yeah.
And I had to change 4 times. Then I left there and then drove back to Zurich, had to find the address.
Mm,
And at 1:55 in the afternoon, 5 minutes before I should have been there, I got there with my second baggage. I had to take other stuff with me. And
mm.
there I had shooting during the afternoon. And
Right.
then I drove home at 5 o'clock in the evening. Yeah, two jobs in one day. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, well, I mean, your day's filled, you're doing something, that you enjoy. You're even
Yeah, you pay
having
good
to
money.
use your imagination of how I'm gonna get from here to there. That's brilliant.
It's good money.
Good money. Yeah. Oh, I like the
Sure.
sound of that, actually. I really love the sound of that. Good money.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay then, Jim. So that was your final story. Any more tips for modelling? I can't think of any more. Can you?
No, not really.
Not
But
really.
if anybody has questions, then they should
They can
come.
go to your website. Yes, yes, definitely.
You that
Yeah.
I give advice to newcomers.
Sorry.
And it's not new that I give advice to newcomers. I do that
It's
quite
not.
often.
Do you really?
I do it quite often, yeah. And
You
some
don't get
people have made very successful careers out of it. It's great.
really.
And we are
Okay.
my friends now, of course.
Mm. Oh, that's good. That's brilliant. Oh, that's nice. So it's been really lovely, Jim. But you and I can still be in contact on social media, on LinkedIn and so on. And then
Yeah.
we may bump into each other in a project, in a shoot somewhere.
This might be next year at the
Right.
earliest.
Yeah, at the earliest. Why? Are you thinking of retiring or something?
Huh? What?
Are you thinking of retiring or something?
No. What's that?
Do you have plans
No.
to retire? No, no. Neither do I.
No.
Neither do
No.
I.
You're just
That,
starting.
that's why my company's called She Has Not Finished Yet, because
Ah,
that's one of the main reasons I am not finished.
and my saying would be, it's going to go on for a long time.
It's going to go on for a long time. Yes. Yes. Oh, that's brilliant.
Great talking to you too.
Okay then. So I'll say bye-bye to you, and no doubt we'll be typing to each other frantically. You'll think you may say, "Oh, I forgot to say so and so," in the oh, and you forgot to ask me so and so, but we'll just share that too. Okay, it's
Have a good evening.
been nice. Yeah, and thank you so much. Okay.
My pleasure. Bye.
All right. Bye. Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
How do I turn